Lukaku wants Chelsea move. Onana pulls a U-turn. Nagelsmann plans Sabitzer reunion. Latest in the Harry Kane saga and a transfer roundup all coming up in the next few minutes. As I'm your host, Matt Froelich, you are the One Footballers, and this is the Daily News. So first off, we mentioned yesterday that Inter Milan would want over £100 million if they were to consider selling Romelu Lukaku. We talked about it as a bit of a rumour. He was an alternative for Chelsea to Erling Haaland. No one was really sure whether he actually wanted to rejoin the club, but now here we are 24 hours later, and it turns out it's actually true. Romelu Lukaku does have unfinished business in West London. He does want to move to Stamford Bridge, and it looks like Chelsea are going to have to up their offer. Yesterday, they sent over I'm assuming some sort of transfer offer. I don't know if people still use fax machines, for around £85 million plus Marcos Alonso. That was swiftly rejected despite the fact that Inter Milan are very acutely aware they're going to need to sell one more player to balance out the books financially. So they went back to Chelsea and said, you know what, Marcos Alonso, we'll take him, but you're going to need to up that original price. So it looks like they're wanting around 120 to 130 million. Now the thing with this is, that I don't quite understand, is that Erling Haaland would cost that, maybe a bit more from Dortmund this summer. So why wouldn't they go and spend this money to go and get Haaland, who's 6-7 years younger than Lukaku? I've no doubt that Lukaku will be amazing for Chelsea. He might even help them retain the Champions League title, and who knows, put together a Premier League title race as well. But if they're going to spend this much money, it just makes more sense for Haaland. Who knows? There's obviously differences behind the scenes, mainly in the fact that Inter Milan are quite clearly willing to let Lukaku go for the right price, whereas Dortmund have absolutely no intention of letting Erling Haaland go this summer. What it means for the rest of the players in the Chelsea squad, especially the other strikers, is that despite the fact that Giroud has left the club and Michy Batshuayi will probably leave as well, Tammy Abraham could also be on his way out of the door. If this transfer goes through, there are reports that not only his former club, Aston Villa, who he played for on loan in the Championship, want him back, but also Atalanta are also looking at bringing him in as well, despite the fact that Chelsea want 40 million for the Englishman. So from this rumour pretty much coming out of nowhere, it looks as though Lukaku may as well find himself back at Chelsea come the end of the transfer window. But moving on and to a rather interesting transfer deal that isn't actually going to happen, and that is Andre Onana, the Ajax goalkeeper, moving to Lyon. He's been linked with the club and Arsenal for some weeks as well earlier on in the summer, and it seems like he's been in talks forever with the Liga side, but now apparently it was just a smokescreen. He just wanted Ajax to think that he was going to leave for a bit of money, when all along he's planning to join Inter Milan on a free next summer. This according to some reports in France and in Holland as well, where he's currently on a doping ban. He'll be returning to football in November, and it looks as though Ajax are ready to get rid of him because this summer they could have get a bit of money for him because his contract runs out next summer. But no, it looks like he'll be joining Inter Milan as a replacement for Samir Handanovic. He'll be 37 next summer and his contract will run out, and they haven't offered him a new deal as of yet. So at 25, he'll be 26 by then. 26-year-old to come in and take over the reins as a goalkeeper. He's a fantastic goalkeeper as well. It seems like the perfect deal. It just also seems a little bit snaky if he never really managed or planned to sign for Lyon in the first place. Anyway, moving on to another transfer rumour, and this one has a bit of legs behind it, and it's Bayern Munich signing Marcel Sabitzer. Of course, it will be a reunion for brand new Bayern Munich manager Julian Nagelsmann with his former captain at RB Leipzig, Sabitzer, the Austrian midfielder. Now, he is also actually, talking of years left on the contract, got 1 year left on his contract, and it's rather an interesting one when no one's come in for him. Like, he's a great player at a great age, a fantastic experience at Champions League and international level. You'd think that a few clubs would be willing to make a move for him, especially when, despite the fact he's got a market value of 42 million euros, he'll be available for around 18 to 20 million euros because he's only got 1 year left. Spurs were linked with him earlier on in the summer, and Lord knows what's going on with their transfer business. So it looks like Bayern Munich are ready to make a move for him. Now, earlier on in the summer, Julian Nagelsmann said that if nothing was to come out of the transfer market, Bayern Munich have still got a pretty strong squad, but the opportunity to sign such a player for such a price is one they just cannot turn down, and it looks like he will be making the same move that Dayot Upamecano has also made this summer. In fact, talking of players with 1 year left on their deal, he's actually going to be joining Bayern Munich, where Leon Goretzka is yet to agree a new deal with the club, despite the fact his contract runs out in 2022. I'm not so sure this is a direct replacement because they're that worried about losing Goretzka, but it won't help to have another player in the squad should he be moving on this summer or next summer. One player that has left Bayern Munich though is young striker Joshua Zirkzee, who has joined Anderlecht on loan for the season. Next up then, in a quick update on the Harry Kane saga, and apparently according to the players' camp, this whole thing has been blown out of proportion and he clearly communicated what he was going to be doing. Of course, the media likes to talk, so there's going to be all sorts of rumours flying around, but Spurs as a club are obviously very unhappy. They're saying that this wasn't planned, it wasn't communicated, and they plan to fine the club vice-captain, not the club captain as many people are saying, that's Hugo Lloris, very, very heavily. Of course, it's clear that he still wants this move to Manchester City, but it looks like Tottenham aren't going to budge. In the past, when it's come to selling the likes of Luka Modric and Gareth Bale, Spurs haven't really budged on their transfer fee that they wanted for the players, and with the fact that Kane is homegrown and probably the best player the Spurs have ever had, it looks like they will still not be willing to sell him for a cheaper deal. Apparently, rumours are saying they want 160 million, Manchester City are only willing to go up to 130. Anyway, Kane does want to return to training at the end of the week, and it looks like things may sort themselves out over the weekend. And by sort themselves out, I mean we'll just end up deeper into the mire of what may or may not happen. Of course, Manchester City start the season with the Community Shield against Leicester this weekend before starting their Premier League season next weekend against, you guessed it, Tottenham. I have no idea which side Harry Kane will be cheering for next Sunday. Finally then, a quick roundup of the rest of the day's transfer news, where Brazil and Spain have reached the men's Olympic football final after victories over Mexico and host Japan respectively. Elsewhere, in Frankfurt have made another bid for AC Milan's Jan Peterhoga of around €8 million. Reece Nelson, Joe Willock, Eddie Nketiah and Ainsley Maitland-Niles are all apparently part of the player plus cash deal that Arsenal are putting forward to Leicester for midfielder James Maddison. And lastly but not least, Aston Villa have officially completed the signing of Leverkusen winger Lyon Bailey. So that's all from me then. Make sure you click here and here to check out everything else, and until next time, I will see you guys later.